As I'm sure you know by now, most hybrids get better mileage in the city than they do on the highway. That's because when they're stopped, they don't use any gasoline, just electric power. So for this episode of Real World Test Drive, we decided to take the hybrid version of Lexus's best-selling crossover and cross over the border into Canada. Lexus RX basically invented the category of the luxury crossover, so much so that other car makers have actually shown rows of them in their ads as a bad thing.
Yeah, well, it's nice that everybody's driving a Lexus, isn't it?
Wade Hoyt is a spokesperson for Lexus. Wade said not only does the RX dominate the market, it even dominates Lexus.
Since the very beginning, it's our best-selling Lexus. It's about 40% of Lexus sales. And then the hybrid gives us a top-of-the-line performance version.
For this road trip, we decided to head up the New York Thruway to the Great White North, which, much to the surprise of a Yankee, was actually warm and sunny in July.
And it's not too far from the state, and as you realize that we have a beautiful French accent, but also we do understand English.
While Montreal is only about a 6-hour drive from the New York City area, it's a world away.
In Montreal, and be so many nice restaurants and cafeterias like Alexandre right here, you feel like in Paris without the jet flight.
Alain, who owns a French brasserie named Alexander's, told us that Montreal is actually about 20% less expensive than New York. Luxury hotel rooms are certainly less wallet-draining.
OK, parfait. Il veut ça à pied, c'est certain, lui? Oui. Parfait. Je vais m'en occuper avec plaisir, Marine.
We stayed at the Hotel Saint-Sulpice in Montreal's Old City.
Old Montreal, well, beautiful architectures, unique feel in North America, actually. Nice European feel, safe area, beautiful architecture-wise, shopping-wise, restaurant-wise, and bar. A lot of things to do in the old city.
Etienne is the Clé d'Or concierge at the Saint-Sulpice. What that means is he's the gold key concierge, and his name in English would be Stephen.
You can go from the classic Irish pub if you go on Crescent and Bishop Street, in between McGill and Concordia University, so young crowd. To have the beer outside, even in winter, they have those beautiful heated patios, so it's perfect for a good pint of beer. If you go on the Saint Laurent Boulevard, which is considered the main in Montreal, the nightclubs, supper club, restaurants such as Buonanotte, Globe, that turns into almost a nightclub in the evening. Or you go there for a good drink, then you have the Tokyo Bar, the Rouge, so many great nightclubs on Saint Laurent Boulevard. East of that, Saint Denis Street, follow all those French-Canadian little pub bars for a real local atmosphere. That's where you want to go.
There's no shortage of fine dining experiences in Montreal, even including a 5-diamond restaurant at the casino. Yes, they have gaming in Montreal at one huge casino. Anyway, the restaurant is called Nuances, and the food and service are superb. The Montreal Board of Tourism said their city is known for the 3 Fs.
In Montreal, the famous 3F, yeah, everybody's talking about it, is true. Food, fun, and fashion.
Speaking of the food, fun, and fashion, one of the locals said, quote, "In Montreal, we die broke, but we have a really good time." Speaking of good times, there's something for everyone, gay or straight.
We have the gay district. We have a beautiful gay district for gentlemen who like to go with gentlemen or like to go with the atmosphere around with a lot of, to meet some other people. And we have a beautiful gay district which are very accepted in Montreal. And it's a large district, boutique, store, loft, big discotheque, nice bar.
Montreal is not just a little bit gay-friendly, they embrace all. Even the metro station in the gay neighborhood called The Village is rainbow-colored. In 2002, Quebec was the first jurisdiction to legalize same-sex civil unions. Gay marriage is now legal in Montreal, and the official Montreal tourism site has a special gay section. Now you know. While Montreal is thoroughly modern in that way, it also has a fun retro factor. The Exxon stations are still called Esso. They were called Esso in the U.S. for the phonetic pronunciation of S and O for Standard Oil, which is how Rockefeller made his money. For those of us who remember our parents putting a tiger in their tank, Esso changed its name in the United States in 1972 to Exxon. Something that might also surprise you about gasoline in Canada is the cost. It was about $4 a gallon when we were there. It's probably a good idea to fill up on the U.S. side of the border if you can. Speaking of the border, don't forget to bring your passport if you're thinking about heading for Canada. A driver's license alone won't do it anymore. Agents on both sides of the border asked my photographer and me what our relationship was. Not really sure what they were getting at, but since border guards in general aren't known for their sense of humor, we just told them. We came up with a lot of really good lines we wanted to use, but figured there's nothing funny about an interrogation room. Not that I would know, of course. Speaking of interrogation, here are some questions I have for Lexus. Have you guys thought about making a blind spot detection system standard on all of your vehicles? Even in a vehicle that sits high and has a great greenhouse, we almost smushed a Prius that was hanging out in our blind spot on the interstate. Here's another question. Have you thought about making telematics standard on all of your vehicles? General Motors did it with OnStar on most of its cars, and if you're so concerned about safety and PR, it's not a bad idea. Also, speaking of questions, why does your navigation system ask so many of them?
This Lexus, like a lot of other Toyota products, the navigation system asks a lot of questions. When you just want to, you say yes to the destination, it still asks about 25 more questions.
Not only does the Lexus navigation system ask you questions about which route you would like to take even after you told it to go, it also won't let the passenger enter in certain information when the vehicle is in motion. I'm guessing it's a liability thing, but so is pulling over on a busy street when you're lost. The Lexus hybrid system performed flawlessly, except I really did notice when the gasoline engine turned itself off and on in the city. On some other hybrids, you don't even feel it. We got an average of about 25 miles per gallon on combined city and highway driving during the 375-mile trip to Montreal from the New York City area. Lexus lists the RX 450h at 30 in the city and 28 on the highway, which is not bad for something this big with all-wheel drive. The combined horsepower of the gasoline engine and the electric motor is 295. The 0 to 60 speed is 7.4 seconds. The top speed is electronically limited to 112 miles per hour. The base price for the RX 450h is a little over $43,000, which includes the Smart Access Passive Entry System. That's the key transmitter that you never have to take out of your pocket or purse to unlock, stop, lock, or start the car. The price as tested, which included heated and cooled seats, the navigation system, moonroof, iPod adapter, and a bunch of other stuff, came out to be about $53,000. I'm Grant Winter, reporting.